Hello and welcome back to another episode of Pyre. Maybe the last episode of Pyre.
As we said last time.
As we said last time. But we are approaching the end. Aurelek is facing us in the last liberation rite.
Yeah, we dragged Sir Gilman
Yes, we did.
up to the guilds.
Yeah, he's like now the Sea Knight on speed. We boosted his quickness by I think 12 or something. So yeah, approaching light speed. Ludicrous speed.
You have gained the summit of Mount Elodiel for the 7th time. Very few stars remain above to light your way as you await the commencement of the final liberation rite.
Oh man, this will be tense.
The lone minstrel finds you clutching the Book of Rites, seeking there perhaps some bit of wisdom that has eluded you thus far.
It's a nice juxtaposition because like you're constantly basically clutching the gamepad,
Yeah.
and it's like the image is very evocative.
Nice. Reader, we may not have a chance to speak again after this. I may have to go.
What do you mean by that, lone minstrel?
I wish to say that I am grateful for having made your acquaintance, and I shall remember you with fondness. I wish you well this night and always. Go forth with glory.
Oh man, I'm damn you, invisible onion cutting ninjas.
Yeah.
Ah, we'll miss him.
Then he looks up and extends his hand in friendship. You clasp it. You see Bertrude has joined you. All of your companions are with her, in fact.
Reading one, thou art both wiser and less irritating than most others of thy kind. I think that's the nicest thing she ever said to
Yeah.
anybody but Wolfred. We have learned something from thee and we are grateful. Nyeh.
Well, reader darling, what do you say we give those scribes a real show to remember then, shall we?
It's really like the climax of a sports movie.
Yeah.
Apart from the fact that half the team is missing, but yeah. Skraha Kree, which means Tizo wants you to know he has the utmost faith in you. Yeah, guys, thanks. Master Reader, it has been this night's greatest honor to have served with you. Let this be our most glorious stand yet. Yeah, it shall be our finest hour, Sir Gilman, indeed.
Oh, hi, miss. The others said they wanted me to join them and come talk to you, so here I am. The scribes are watching us.
Alright.
You look upon your fellow exiles, your companions, with whom you have withstood the downside, and with whom you shall now conduct this final rite.
Damn straight.
Begging your pardon, but my time has come. We shall see each other soon. He departs. After this night, the outcome of Wolfred's plan, the plan to which you all have, of which you all have been a part, shall be decided, one way or another.
Ooh.
For now, all you can do is strive to prevail against your final adversaries, so that one last companion may go free. You rise to join your fellow exiles as the last remaining stars ignite.
The final liberation rite of this age shall now commence. Mere distance cannot separate our spirits.
Oh god, I like this song so much.
Mm-hmm. Go away, space monsters.
Yeah,
Are you still?
yeah, he is.
Oh, you cheeky little monstrosity. Let's proceed. Having come this far, you need but take the final steps upon your quest for freedom. Yeah, thanks, that's helpful advice.
Look for one last time upon the fall of Solium, dear reader. Hear me for one last time. For soon the few remaining stars shall fade away, leaving you stranded there for your remaining days in that forsaken land where you deserve to be. The rabble that you roused here in the Commonwealth shall be put down. The exiles whom you liberated all shall fall in line. But first, let us get on with this last liberation rite. You face none other than yourselves. Each so unlike the glorious Nightwings of yore. 'Tis a shame that one of you shall soon be free, for you deserve each other.
So come to think of it, what if we free Aurelek? Like, would he calm the fuck down, or would he just go on a spite rampage with Tamitha?
Oh boy. Let's not do this.
Alright.
Really
Yeah.
not.
And just for the record, we are not going to fudge this. Like, if we lose, we lose. But I'll do my very best to win.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I can try what happens in my playthrough, but I don't want to try here. Really.
Alright.
Pyre's burn and each of the triumvirates is present and prepared. But before the Lone Minstrel can concur as per the custom,
I love you, Celeste. Come on. Oh. You read him, right?
yeah, I think so. Not another word.
Is everybody disrupting the rights? Just
Yeah,
go on, people.
the demon Aurelek slowly raises his clawed fingers to his mask. The false Nightwings have arrived at last. Long have I awaited this. My freedom once was stolen from me, then I was cheated of it, here upon this mountaintop. You may now attempt to take it from me once more.
Well, 3
Only
times
as
the
we will.
charm.
He stands there for a moment, silent, then Aurelek dons his mask and stands prepared.
No?
May these damned rites cease forever for the misery which they caused.
As far as villain speeches go, that one's good. Very to the point. Oh boy! This is.
Yeah. Nightwings, we shall not meet again after tonight, for the cycle of the rites is all but ended. Thus, I would have your decisions. On whose behalf shall you conduct this final liberation rite? The one whom you anoint, or else the exiled Aurelek shall be returned? Good speed, reader. You know what is at stake better than I. I have utmost faith in you to make the best decision and conduct this rites with glory. The Nightwings, the stars' remaining lights grow dim. Your decisions, please.
Yes.
Yeah. It is time now to choose who, if anyone among you, shall go free with this one last time. The rest of you shall remain in the downside till the end of your days.
No.
One by one, you meet the gaze of each of your fellow exiles.
Sir Gilman, Bertrude, Tizo, Tamitha, and Tay.
Your fellow exiles, your companions, your friends. Together you have come this far, but now the downside and the rights conspire to tear your group apart and disrupt your plan.
Are you prepared to choose this one last time? Oh, the pressure's too great. Just let's leave. Uh-huh. Is there no other way? There's no turning back. The fate of your friends and the Commonwealth may hinge on the decision you are about to make. Let's do it.
With but a glance, you reassure your fellow exiles that you know what to do.
Yes.
One final opportunity for salvation. Too bad for the rest of you.
Alright. So, it's gotta be Gilman. He earned it.
Yeah.
And I guess we can...
Can we take a look at Aurelek?
Sure. Seems like a good plan anyway to check out what they got.
Biography. He was repulsed by what he saw on the blood border, which sowed in his heart a yearning for a greater peace. He tried to use his influence to negotiate a treaty with the Highwing remnants, but not everyone was swayed. One day, he received direct orders to return to the front. When he refused to soil his hands again, they cast him down. There, in time, he became affiliated with the Nightwings and grew to become one of the finest rites conductors until tragedy struck and he was left clinging to life at the foot of the sacred mountain.
18 years. Here's the Ashen Coal, which terribly enhances their fire. A savage, which I don't like. And we know nothing about him, but he has the Mooncrest, which sucks. for us. Tailwind Crest, so the annoying imp is even more quick. And yeah, Seals of Nature. Oh boy. Safe Return and Titan's Rage. Whew, yeah, this is going to be tough.
I mean, I would kind of, how do you say, ich würde es Orla gönnen.
I would. Shit, what's it? Let's see what that. Shit. He kinda earned it.
He kinda earned it, yeah. He kinda has deserved it.
Yeah,
and if he wins, there could be worse things. So.
Yeah, like fucking Tamitha, or she who shall not be named.
Yeah.
But anyway, we do this for Gilman.
Yeah.
Sir Gilman.
What has this knight done that he should warrant such a courtesy as this? Know that he shall strive with all his heart.
Your choice is cast. As for your other companions, you sense a clarity of thought and purpose in each of them. They stand ready to support Sir Gilman as well as you.
Oh, yeah.
Who shall stand with him?
Well, Tamitha, of course.
Tamitha.
Who has something to say.
Oh, I'm sorry. I want to look up that word. Wouldn't have wanted to sit this one out, that's for sure, Rita darling.
And Bertrude.
Bertrude.
Thy will is ours, reading one. Let the remaining stars shed their last light upon our ceremony here. Alright.
It is done.
What is it?
You wouldn't begrudge him.
Begrudge.
Yeah.
So, but that's the negative one, right? Begrudge, what's
no.
the positive one?
Yeah, we would not begrudge him his
but-
chance. So we wouldn't
Alright,
even good.
okay. I can live with that.
Yeah.
Alright, a language barrier has been torn down.
Those are to be my adversaries then.
Yeah, you probably know him because Gilman wrecked your shit last time.
And who is it, I wonder, who asserts her will over that group?
Yeah, well, you ignored me most of the time, so...
You sense Orlek searching for you, almost reaching out to you. You, the shadow of the false Nightwings. They are nothing to me, but you would relinquish your own liberty for the sake of them. Strange.
Not strange as you think.
It is fitting then that I should have to face one such as you. Then Orlek stands at the ready, signaling for his two allies to do the same. Ballad of Dawn, the cycle of the rise shall cease. Let us see if we can finish this ordeal before that time.
Yeah, let's try.
The sky above begins to shudder. The final liberation rite is about to commence.
Oh,
Tariq. I am prepared, Celeste. Then let our song this evening shake the stars themselves.
yeah, rock out.
Aye, Celeste. Let us make sure of it.
Okay.
Oh god.
Whoa. Shit,
Whoops.
he was too
Final
fast.
chance at liberation for the age.
Shit, Moonquest. Fucking him. Too slow. Shoot. Oh, I hate Snapcast.
Oops.
Shit.
Yeah. Come on.
That's good. I'm good, I'm good.
The sky rains ash. Sure, and soon shall your pyres all mingle with them.
Yes, well, yours, I guess.
Just then, the skies above begin to rain down fire. The final throes of the Cyclops arrives and the big ending of the age.
Oh my god, he's
What?
pissed. What? You asshole! Haha, but not Sir Gilman. Yeah, you don't. You fucking don't. Not like this. Shit.
Ah!
Ah, perfect. Come on. Whoa! Holy shit!
Yep, I guess.
Okay, that was...
Was?
Wow, he's fucking business. Shit. Oh,
Oops.
come on. Right, MVP. Right, Gilman. One more. Whoa, he's fucking fast. Both of them, actually.
So the foul's night brings bear the fangs at last.
What do you mean at last?
But that cannot be your finest effort. You think you deserve your freedom more than I? Then fight for it, damn you.
We do! Come on, man. Ooh,
Whoa.
shit, fuck.
Come on.
Ah,
Goes on Bertrude.
the AI is
Yeah,
really
shut up.
fucking relentless. Oh, I hit him actually. Whoa.
Ah! Ouch. Yeah, indeed. Ouch.
So fiercely.
Ah, what happened there? Sometimes things are just too fucking fast.
Whoa. Jesus, he's so fast.
Yeah. No, shit, fuck.
Ah!
Wherever did the Nightwings go?
Crap.
A
What is a
devious
celestial
maneuver.
spike?
I don't know.
Whoa.
Oh.
How did he get here so fast?
Yeah, indeed.
Yes. Empire shan't survive much more of that.
Yeah, right. We can do
Yeah,
this.
let's hope.
Yeah, I think they have some fucking ace up there. Fuck!
Oh dear.
Ah, come on!
Ah.
Now then. Glorious.
Nice try, Tiso clone. Fuck.
Orlex stands breathing heavily. Yeah, I can understand him. He looks back on the thin lick of flames and his smoldering pyre before turning his attention back to your Tarambo.
Please don't cheat, please don't cheat.
How he has changed, that Woodleck. Grown old and bitter lo these many years.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, that's not nice.
Yeah, oops.
Watch out for the fire.
Die.
Alright, cool. This bullshit, wasn't he just... Fuck. It's 2 versus 1. Well... Crazy.
All of you, you shall rot here. You shall rot as I have all these many years. You false Nightwings who would deny me once again my right for liberty.
Yeah, well, he could have asked nicely and joined the team.
You who deny that limited to all the tyrannoids you face and vanquish under the guise of the traditions of those last tribes. Come, let us continue this glorious affair.
Wow.
This, my pulse is really
Shit, fuck.
up there. I'm kind of glad I'm not playing this myself right now.
Yeah, it's pretty tense actually. I don't want to fuck it up, but they are tough. They're like... why? Yeah.
Ah!
Wow, close one. Oh, come on, this is bullshit. Till the very end, I don't get how auras work. Oh, stay away, buddy.
Yeah.
No, don't catch it! Shit. Ah, they're too fast. Yeah, give it. Yeah, you're too slow, sorry. And he also did the crit. And they didn't cheat.
Oh,
Yay!
nice.
Nightwings proved their worth. An outcome which left little room for doubt.
Yeah, well, it was
Thus
actually pretty
ends
close.
the liberation rite. And thus, the scribes have chosen.
Okay, now I feel sorry for him.
A bit, yeah, but it's like with the other demon guy. If he just would have straight up told us what's the problem, and said like, we can do this together. Technically, I'm still a Nightwing, so... But no, he had to be all broody and dark. Anyway, can it truly be? This night and all of us, we have indeed prevailed?
You look upon Sir Gilman for what you expect shall be the last time you see each other. Any moment now, the shimmer pool shall engulf him. Something's going to go wrong.
Yeah. But please don't eat Sir Gilman.
Yeah, no, please don't kill him. I'm going to cry.
Any moment!
Yeah, any moment now, he shall return
Shit.
to glory and join with more of his agents in the Commonwealth to help achieve the plan.
As I said, any moment now. It's a matter of seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh god. Any moment now, the cycle of rights shall end until at least the dawn of the new age.
We really had a series of unlucky picks for our liberation rights, right?
Any moment now, oh god.
And thus, the scribes have chosen. And thus, the scribes have chosen. And thus, the scribes have chosen.
I'm stumped as you are, buddy.
Nightwings. Reader. What have you done?
We conducted the rite.
Yeah.
This knight is beginning to feel extraordinarily uneasy about things here.
Each time prior upon the fall of Solium, the Shimmer Pool has opened following the liberation rite and taken in whichever exile prevailed.
Oh man.
Oh god. But now all is still, and the light of the stars above has all but died. You sense a growing fear that it is already too late, that the Shimmer Pool shall not reveal itself again.
Oh fuck, sorry Gilman. Oh boy.
Orlek approaches, his head bowed. The 8 scribes saved the Grace's treachery for last.
They indeed did.
Then something else catches his notice. Wait. The sudden rush of starlight cascades through the stillness of the summit. The Shimmer Pool has appeared again, different somehow, but open.
And also
Red.
blood red,
Yeah.
which is pretty metal, but
Sir Gilman looks upon it, but it does not engulf him, or at least not yet. It seems I was mistaken then. The 8 scribes. That is not their greatest treachery, it is their greatest jest. The Shimmer Pool is flung wide open. It seems that all are worthy now of freedom.
yay?
Orlek strides towards the Shimmer Pool, but... Halt, Orlek. Orlek glances over at the lone minstrel, almost in surprise. The Shimmer Pool has lost most of its strength.
Did he just call him fat?
Oh, you step inside and you shall surely drown. Of that I can assure you. He laughs to himself at this. Then we have all been cheated.
At least he accepts it. It's not like, no, I can do this. Like
Yeah.
Indiana Jones and the Grail. Like,
No, the Shimmer Pool is revealed, and one of you may still return as planned. But, as for who returns, someone shall have to choose. Ere the last light of the stars is extinguished and the rites cease to be. This is the final trial of the scribes.
yeah, but we decided, so Gilman goes.
The final trial of the scribes? But our confrontation, the liberation rite, it was all meaningless? No. The victor of the confrontation is to be the one who makes the choice among those closest to the scribes. Either the anointed, or she who anointed them.
So then, this night, he can return, although perhaps the Master Reader can return instead?
Aye. It shall be either you, the reader, or... It shall be either, or... So Gilman, please, make your decision quickly, lest it shall be for fate. I do not know how much longer the light of the stars shall offer you this gift.
Gilman, don't.
Gilman, don't do it!
Good minstrel, why? The choice which you present unto this night is very simple then. Oh god, he will do it. Ah, you bloody honorable bastard. Master Reader, this night hereby declares you shall be free. You asshole. You adorable asshole.
So Gilman wishes to give up his freedom so that you may regain yours. Very well.
I guess I just pull an old dog cart on him and push him into the...
Yeah. Reader, madam, the choice which Sir Gilman made, or rather the choice which he gave, it is now yours to make instead.
What game are we playing here?
The choice, it may keep bouncing back and forth like this absurd. That's right. It may until such a time as one of you is willing to accept the burden and the outcome of the choice. That is the trial, and I fear that there is little time remaining now.
Oh god.
Oh god. Huh. Reader, if you and your companions are too cordial with each other to accept that freedom, either one of you, then I shall gladly take it.
Oh, now you do? Really?
Freedom ought to be more than some flirtatious trifle to exchange.
Dude, you know nothing.
Reader, what is your will?
Uh...
Oh my god.
Alright, so... This is your chance, and Sir Gilman wished that you should take it. Yes, he does.
Yeah.
Your intention this night was for him to return to glory, and it shall be done. He earned his right for freedom long ago, like twice. He deserves his justice. Yeah, but what will he do with that justice? I mean, this is the opportunity to redeem, like, a bitter old demon. And I guess in every lesser work of art, he would be like, oh yay, I'm free and now we'll do good. But I don't think that'll be what happens.
I really want to believe this, but I don't.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's hard. I mean, the game has proven to kick you in the groin for making choices like that. And it kicks hard.
Yeah, as is the fine tradition of Supergiant games.
Yeah. So, now if I choose Gilman, he will be all like, nah, you go. And then I'll be like, nah, you go.
Yeah, and then
the pool
stars will
disappears.
fade, yeah. So yeah, it's either we go or Orla goes.
Yeah. I don't want to abandon the others like that.
Yeah.
That would be horrible. So, I mean, if he accepts, he and his 3 million brothers will surely tip the scales of the plan, if nothing else. But I don't see what this would achieve.
Yeah, no.
It's
No,
like we're
really
just a person who can read. Yay.
Yeah.
Like, we are the sports coach who gets fired after the season and the team dissolves. Which sucks. If we send him up, I mean, he's just one guy.
Yeah, but on the other hand, he has earned his freedom, and I think we.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
it's like the decent thing
it's
to
a
do, and
decent thing to do.
he can't do more damage than fucking Tamitha, so what's the harm?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's stick with the motley crew and
Yeah,
send
let's
fucking
do this.
horny
After all,
surgeon up there. Right, go. You go.
yeah. Your thoughts crystallize. You have chosen Oralek.
I wouldn't say crystallize, but
What?
yeah, didn't see that coming, huh?
Oralek, do you accept the reader's choice, or shall you make another?
No, actually, just send Gilman up there. You know, I said this is my night, and it comes back now.
No, I shall not make another. I accept the reader's choice, the reader's mercy.
Yeah.
Then it is done. Oh boy. For a moment, Oralek appears to be at peace, and then
All right, supervillain laugh.
he is gone.
All right, that works. Oralek regained his freedom. Oralek is set to return to Commonwealth and leave the downside forever.
Yeah,
Except
make
this
something of it.
for it is done.
Dude.
Yeah, if this is just another case of I will wreck shit or I'll do nothing like fucking useless son of old Dogheart, I will
Yeah.
rage.
Godspeed, Oralek. By the scribes,
Delbert Oldheart, that was the
no
name.
stars
Not old
remain
Dogheart.
aloft. The cycle of the rites. It is finished. The Commonwealth.
Oh, the gamepad is going
What
crazy.
shall become of it? What shall become of us? Nightwings. The opportunity to gain your freedom from the downside. Was it not enough?
Wow, no more tips. This is it. That night, the exiled Oralek returned to the Commonwealth. He was to be the last. Oh, or did you want to read it?
I can. The
We
star-
can, we can like...
Yeah, the stars had faded and the cycle of the rites has run its course.
Okay, that's it for the page. Yeah, do one more. It's like 2 and 2.
You found the Commonwealth in a state of unrest.
Spurred by the efforts of 4 liberated exiles, Wolfred Sandwood's revolutionary plan had incited the masses. These exiles and the starless sky portended the return of the scribes.
The rulers of the Commonwealth pushed back. Fighting broke out in the streets in spite of Sandalwood's intentions.
It was then that the winged hiring remnants chose to strike. Well, shit. Allegations that the hiring remnants were in league with Sandalwood were never proven.
However, there was no denying the result of the two-pronged attack. After enduring for almost a millennium, the Commonwealth had fallen.
Ooh. The new Syrian Union declared its sovereignty in the next year. Among the changes its elected leaders ushered in, they vowed never to cast their people into exile.
And they abolished the old Commonwealth's decree of forbidding literacy. Yay!
Fucking finally.
Today, we still remember all of this.
And we remember the exiles of the downside, whose deeds led to the dawning of our age, whether they returned or not. Can I... yeah. Ooh, diorama time! Wow. So... What's the deal here?
Oh, nice. After his liberation, Hedwyn was instrumental in the events leading to the fall of the Commonwealth and was vital to the outcome of the plan. Oh, nice. He was the one who led the raid on the stronghold where Archjustice Androbolus IX was holed up when the fighting grew fierce. With him then and thereafter, oh nice, he found her, was one of the winged harps of the Hiving Remnants, later identified as Fikani Shang.
Oh, that's nice. Alright, she was the really beautiful one. A harp for whom Hedwyn cared deeply. They were separated when Hedwyn was exiled, and now reunited. You go, man.
Their bond was vital to the peace that followed. In all his days as the leader of the Sarian Union, Hadwin often confided with his friends to Jodariel.
Wait, he like became a politician?
It
Nice.
seems like that.
The Sarian Union. Our nation formed in 839 AS after the fall of the Commonwealth. One day, we all may stand shoulder to shoulder with the common cause, said Walfrid Sandalwood. He actually used more words than that.
Despite her intense manner, there was no one whom he trusted more in times when circumspection was required. Hadwin would often think back about the vow he made at the beginning of his quest for freedom. Although he cherished all of the friendships he made, he had pledged to Jodariel, Rookie Reentail, and the Reader of the Nightwings that they might all be free again, together.
You are an exile of a commonwealth sentenced to love and downside. Once mere stars of Deviant, yet now a revered title in the Sarian Union. Noise.
He had broken that vow, for in the end, not all of them were able to return. A terrible guilt over this darkened his mood for a time.
Oh man. Don't worry, we are fine.
However, the others whom he still knew lifted his spirits, much like he had often lifted theirs. All of the Nightwings knew the stakes. While the others stood with the Nightwings, were not all able to remain in contact thus, Hadwin thought of each of them often, and so in turn they often think of him.
I guess we still got messages. Oh, we can like choose everyone.
Oh god, so much text. Alright.
Whew, let's do this. Yeah, let's just do it in turns.
Yeah.
Once the riots had ended, the Mtizo had a job to do, quite unlike most exiles trapped forever in the downside. The lone minstrel asked that he watch over the Black Wagon, which the Nightwings had used extensively for travel and for shelter all throughout their quest. Tizo obliged, for he knew that wagon as well as its inhabitants, perhaps better than anyone. What became of the wagon exactly was never verified, as evidence of Tizo's thorough work.
He ate it.
Yeah, he just went to drive. Alright, let's eat this thing. After that, he liked to while away his days with any of his friends, or else with fellow imps. He would visit his friend Tay at every opportunity. She was among the few who could consistently interpret what he meant, and they were always close since they first met. Since the first they met. Walfrid Sandalwood would sometimes send him little gifts all the way from the downside. From the downside?
Okay, maybe he
downside?
went back? We haven't yet read what he has
Alright.
done.
Yeah, well, we don't know but yeah, let's...
Yeah, let's...
Despite the insurmountable distance between them, their friendship proved more than resilient. He often chirped about the Reader of the Nightwings, with whom he built quite a rapport. The Reader understood him perhaps better than anyone. Don't tell Tay. I think it's like Tizo sends him gifts from the downside.
No. Yeah, let's do Sandalwood next,
Yeah.
so we can clear it up.
Indeed, Tizo would often express wistful gratitude for all his time with the Nightwings and their many adventures throughout the land that was always his home. Other than that, Tizo would sometimes help interpret for messenger imps relaying news to and from the Sarian Union. Despite having gained significant celebrity abroad, he never let it go to his head. Of course he didn't. And he would go fishing in the Sea of Solace at every single chance he got. Where's Walfrid? Come on, Walfrid.
Yeah, up, oh,
Oh.
Jesus, up there.
Oh, we can even check out those. And Ron, of
Oh,
course.
and Ron, yeah. Nice.
Alright, Sandalwood.
When Walfrid Sandalwood regained his freedom, he knew that his work had only just begun. The nation that had exiled him to life in the downside now prepared to honor him, but he was not interested in such ceremony, nor in freedom or the Commonwealth on the Commonwealth's own terms.
Aha.
He soon rejoined his agents, with whom he had been coordinating for years, slowly, carefully preparing for a night that soon would come. For Sandalwood and his loyalists and sympathizers, true freedom was at stake, not just theirs, but that of everyone living under the Commonwealth. He hoped to gather liberated exiles representing each of the 8 largest ethnic groups composing the population of the Commonwealth. They would stand together as a vision of the 8 tribes returned, inspiring the masses to embrace an older set of values from before the Commonwealth has tightened its grip. With the raids having ended sooner than expected, this optimal scenario became impossible, but Sandalwood did not relent and prepared to execute his plan, imperfect though it was.
Well, as crazy plans go, that one was pretty solid.
Yeah. On the night of Scribe's return, he strode into the streets along with those who stood with him, and they all raised their voices high.
Scribe's return, inspired by the liberated exiles, the people of the Commonwealth demanded new leadership. Cast yourselves down, chant from the Scribe's return. Cast yourselves down. That's more like it, yeah.
It was imperative to Sandalwood that this stand against the Commonwealth be peaceful in its nature, increasingly the likelihood of that group more remote.
Like 20%,
Yeah.
I guess?
He had suffered a grievous injury attempting to protect one of his supporters when the Highwing remnant struck. Amidst the chaos, he was pulled from the fray. The following afternoon, when he finally came to, he saw how much had changed. The plan's goal has been achieved.
Nice.
There were speculations that the well-timed assault by the Highwing remnants may not have happened by coincidence, though Sandalwood denied any involvement.
So, like... Yeah... Well, I guess we see when we click on Tamitha.
Yeah.
What's the deal with that?
He always maintained that a peaceful outcome was his goal. Sandalwood works was far from over still. He labored ceaselessly with representatives from across the population to restore a sense of stability. This transitional period has had its troubles, though none that were not quickly solved. Such was the will and the spirit of the people. They understood that freedom carried new responsibility. After the Syrian Union was born the next year, Sandalwood was elected as the nation's first prime minister. It was not his intent to run for this office, but the people chose him anyway.
He can, like, talk really fast and really a lot. We should choose him.
Yeah.
So why is it called the Syrian Union? What is the Sarah part?
I have no idea. He led our fledgling nations through his nasty years. He evidently made amends with his old one-time friend Orlek, with whom he clashed during the days as exiles. Yeah, nice. Ooh. Orlek was instated as the nation's chief physician and became a close confidant.
Okay.
Yeah, good for us. As Walfred Sandalwood gained more fame throughout this land for all his sacrifices and his contributions, he remained ever steadfast about two things.
No one interrupts me and I get to say anyway.
The first was that the cause itself ought to remain in focus. The freedom that the people had achieved, it was a gift to be cherished, a set of values that needed to be nurtured. The second point he made was that he himself had little to do with the outcome.
Sure.
He would often praise the exiles of the Nightwings who had stood with him, each in turn, by name. He never forgot any of them. One day, on his birthday, the people of the Syrian Union presented him a monument depicting him and the Nightwings as imagined in their prime. It has since ensured that those of us with memories more fallible than those of Sandalwood likewise remember the achievement of his former fellow exiles and our cause.
Oh, how nice.
Oh.
We got statues. So, who's next? Where's Tamitha? There. Let's see. Oh, like, what's the... Oh, so everyone has a halo except for Ron and those two. Okay. I thought the halos were for, like, what liberated, but... Yeah, obviously not. Oh yeah. As soon as possible after Tamitha Thane earned back her liberty, she rejoined her sisters of the Highwing remnants in the mountains north of the Commonwealth. The Commonwealth believed that someone such as she could be rehabilitated through years spent in exile. Instead, her hatred for her ancient enemies only intensified. Yeah, who would have guessed? On the night of the Scribe's return, the Highwing remnants were poised to strike the Commonwealth in a decisive blow. They had received credible intelligence about the expected positions of the Commonwealth leadership and of specific weaknesses in the blood border defenses anticipated that night. After surgical procedure, Tamitha could fly again. Okay,
Oh.
that's how it works, I guess. Did she get mecha wings? Almost as well as prior to her exile, she insisted on spearheading the attack with a squadron of the Harp's finest. They descended on their foes exactly as planned. The chaos that had risen in the streets of the Commonwealth that night made for an optimal diversion. Nonetheless, the battle took its toll. Many of Tamitha's sisters fell. She herself sustained many grievous wounds, but ignored them all, and fought with a terrible fury. Oh my god. This is more bloody than I expected. By dawn, the leaders of the Commonwealth had been eliminated, and Tamitha was limping back toward the mountains. She would never fly again. Soon after the fall of the Commonwealth, Tamitha attended a debriefing in which she learned her blood sister Pamitha was an accessory to the successful outcome. Tamitha was very skeptical of this, but so many of the Iron Remnants honored Pamitha that Tamitha soon accepted the prevailing opinion, though grudgingly at first. A messenger imp later arrived bearing some sort of message. Really? It's a bullet farmer from the bullet farm. It's a battering ram cannon. It shoots battering rams. Seemingly from Pamitha. However, Tamitha turned it away. She forever resisted the impulse to forgive. Yeah, well. Yeah. After the rise of the Syrian Union, Tamitha Thane continued to serve as flight tactician and remained respected and feared among her kind. However, without a war to wage, she grew more distant even than usual. Yeah, what's the hunter without the hunted? Those closest to her surmised that her inability to reconcile with her blood sister was at the heart of this, though for her part, Tamitha never once admitted to any such weakness. Oh, that's sad. You deserve it.
Yeah.
So, next up, let's go for...
Jodariel.
Yeah, right, Jodie.
Consilda Virias.
After her liberation, Jodariel soon became an icon of the movement that led to the collapse of the Commonwealth and the rise of the Syrian Union. Her military prowess and experience led to key victories and clashes against the Commonwealth loyalists. Each time, she was able to subdue the opposition, avoiding lethal force. In the uncertain times that followed, Jodariel's seasoned expertise often came into play both in the matters of security and of state. For instance, she conscripted and trained a team of volunteers in public safety. The community did not know what to make of such a cordial bunch at first, but soon began to value the service.
Huh. I wonder who that might be.
They have stood for the people ever since, and we celebrate their founding day each year. She remained close with Hedwyn all through this experience, and they supported each other through their struggles many times. She often had to stop herself from freeing Forte, whom she had tried to look after as much as possible in the downside. Soon, she would reassure herself that Tay was very capable of surviving on her own, and in fact, she was not mistaken. She could continue training on her own, a regimen that grew stricter with each passing year. There was also sought to train with her, and she sometimes obliged. Take a drink.
Mm-hmm.
So much talk. There remained one other constant in her life. She would always remember her days among the Nightwings, and with fondness for the most part.
Okay, let's go for Auric next. Our new chief physician. In the aftermath of the final liberation rite, Auric at last returned to his nation, one he had not seen in nearly 2 decades. He scarce recognized it. After all, it was in the midst of transformation, a social and cultural upheaval sparked by Wolfred Sandalwood's plan. When Auric witnessed the people of the Commonwealth gathered in solidarity under the black sky there on the night of the scribe's return, he looked on in silence for a time. Then, the hiring remnants descended, and a panic quickly spread among those gathered. A pitched battle erupted in the streets. It was chaos. Auric observed all this, then took a step toward the fray. He knelt beside the closest injured man. What? He knelt beside the closest injured man to him. He staunched the man's bleeding and set an injured leg, then pulled him to a safer corner of the street. Auric's old abilities as a physician had not left him during all these years. Thus did he aid as many as he could throughout that night until the danger passed. Cool. History would know him as the Demon Doctor. A term which made wonderful pulp fiction. A term of endearment that struck even after his horns started to recede. So that's really how it works. Like, the horns go away.
Yeah, it seems like that.
Huh, weird. He lent his skill and service throughout the birth of the Syrian Union. The one he had called the Shadow of the false Nightwings was someone whom he thought of often. He knew he owed his freedom to her. In light of having witnessed the aftermath of Sandalwood's plan, Orlek sought out his former companion, and slapped him accordingly. While they kept private the details of the conversation that took place, and it was a very lengthy conversation, it must have been enough to rebuild the bonds of friendship between the two of them. And they were often seen together after that. I wonder if he made like a sandalwood puppet out of him? Alone with his thoughts, Orlek would sometimes visit a memorial to the fallen leaders of the Commonwealth. Though, other than such appearances, and notwithstanding his duties as Master Physician of the state, Orlek led a very private life. Few would have guessed that he once was one of the most accomplished rites conductors in the history of the Nightwings. History, of course, shall ensure we shall not forget.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad we freed him.
Yeah, it's alright. So, who else we got?
Yeah, Rookie.
Oh yeah.
Concealed Avidias.
After Rookie Greentail earned back his freedom, he returned to a lavish welcome ceremony in the Commonwealth, as was the tendency for liberated exiles. I have noticed for the first time that he is wearing a bone, or that the clasp on his...
Oh really? It's like emergency
and
dog
a,
treat.
and a paw print on his chain.
Mm-hmm.
It was everything he could have hoped for, and soon he was well off, surrounded by luxury and choosing between various exciting opportunities. However, he must have given in to his better judgment, as he did end up siding with Jesus.
He had Wolfred.
As he did end up siding with Wolfred Sandalwood's revolutionary forces, as he promised. On the nights of Scribe's return, Greentail kept busy barking orders to Wolfred agents as the situations grew tenser. He took rather well to leadership.
Wow, he's like the dog Han Solo.
When dawn finally came, it became clear that the Commonwealth that everybody knew would be no more. He realized that many new opportunities awaited.
Ooh.
He began a quite lucrative career for himself, manufacturing and selling replica merchandise inspired by the Dawn side.
Wow, okay.
Wow, nice. Action figures.
Mm-hmm.
His main struggle was to meet demand. So they have Sir Gaiman plushies and we don't.
Yeah,
That
that's
sucks.
a shame, yeah.
An aspect of his conscience cautioned him against making light of such a thing. But the money was too good, and soon his family was as well off as he had always said. Yeah, you earned it. Greentail always did his best to keep in touch with all his many friends, and knew that he owed his fortunes to them.
Oh yes.
He made a special point of staying close with the group of friends he came to know so well during his time with the Nightwings, wherever they were.
Oh, sorry.
They shared a special understanding that put even Greentail at a loss for words sometimes.
No. And that's saying something. So, let's see. I want to know what became of Delbert.
Yeah.
See, like, he has this sad halo. Oh, all the people who remained on the downside do, actually.
Yeah, I think
Ah,
so.
now I get the difference. Ah, okay. Alright, Delbert. After his liberation, Elmar Oldheart was separated from his father, Delbert, who had cast his son into a shimmer pool in his own place. See, he also stands on a crate.
Yeah.
And the elderly Delbert Oldheart, having achieved his goal of earning back his son's freedom, retired from the rites. By the time the cycle of the rites had reached its end, Delbert's time had come as well. Fuck. Elmar did not learn of this until much later. Surely Delbert would have wanted it that way. Would that he could have seen his son during this vital time. He's slouching away his life, doing nothing. And squandering this gift. On the night of Scribe's return, Elmar became inspired by what he saw happening all around him. Yeah, good timing, buddy. Which reminded him of his father's words and beliefs. Soon Elmar joined the fight, protecting others bodily. I think it's boldly, as the situation escalated.
Yeah.
Or is bodily like,
that.
with vitality.
Yeah.
By dawn's first light it was over. Elmar was exhausted, but the cause had prevailed. From that point forward, he worked tirelessly to continue his father's work as historian and curator of Kerr culture.
Curator.
Curator! Oh my god.
No boy.
we didn't have a planned fun.
Yeah.
He ended up providing invaluable perspective during the formation of the Syrian Union, as someone strongly connected both to Curse and to his own kind. He is corrupted. He found that the old hard lineage carried a great deal of respect and was able to bridge many cultural issues between his people as they transitioned into modern times. We still didn't get to find out what Dalbert's, in air quotes, crime was.
Yeah, that's right. I
We
think
never...
we missed it.
No, I think we had his bio pulled up, but there was like, nobody knows.
Yeah.
Another day went by that Elmer Oldhart did not think about his father and give thanks to him and speak to him at morning and at night. Would that would that the stars yet shone, for surely Dalbert's would be there among them, smiling down at the sun and watching over him and his kin. Aww.
Oh.
So who's next?
Yeah.
Manley?
Yeah, let's do Manley.
More spectacular.
When Manley Tinderstauf realized that the riots had ended, he no longer could return to the Commonwealth through this ancient means, he was outraged. He cursed the scribes, spewing forth such a slew of blasphemy as to be very unbecoming of one of his high stature and bearing.
Well,
When at last he calmed himself, he focused all his energies on attempting to find another means of homecoming.
okay.
He maintained regular contact with his wealthy family on the other side via Messenger Inc. and used their vast resources to explore other means of escape. He tried using an elaborate pulley system. He attempted to retrofit a flying black wagon with superior propulsion. He tried an imp raft of an air balloon, even prayer.
Wow.
Nothing worked. There was only one way to escape the downside, and now it was gone. Tinderstauf bankrupted his families in these vain attempts. At last, such was his shame that he retreated to the teeming woods of the Black Basin to Cinderoo.
Oh. And he disrobed and stood there.
Yeah.
Well, I wonder why his family kept giving him the money.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, alright, Manly, you can do your silly projects, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Yet he wallows, complaining to his comrades of the chastity who still put up with
Oh
him,
my god.
either about his own misfortune or the latest news from the other side.
Oh boy, poor people.
Yeah.
Alright. So that was an asshole. Now let's do someone nice.
Yes, for Gilman.
The Worm Knight Sir Gilman had elected to go into exile as penance for his failure to uphold his military obligations to the Commonwealth. To him, earning back his freedom was tantamount to erasing the shame of his past. His honor was at stake more so than anything. Yet when it became clear to him that he would not go free again through the rites, he readily accepted the outcome, for he knew by then that much more was on the line. He regretted not having had the chance to contribute directly to the events that transpired in the Commonwealth. But he chose. He could have... I was about to send him home.
Yeah, but...
Though he was pleased to hear the outcome. The conclusion of the rites and the fall of the Commonwealth made clear to him that his days as a knight had ended. He declared to all those in earshot that he would never fight again. What? Why? Okay. Unless, of course, there was... Ooh, nice cliffhanger there. Unless, of course, there arose some other extraordinary set of circumstances again requiring him to fight. But he certainly hoped not. He still trained regularly, though never found as skilled and motivating of a partner as his fleet-footed friend, nice alliteration there, Rookie Greentail, whom he remembered fondly. From time to time he would seek guidance from one of his former comrades, Big Bertrude, much his elder, and a wellspring of perspective on his life decisions. You suck. He was always grateful for the counsel of the reader, and would regale her over and over about the time they squashed the spawn of unfathomed plurns. Yes, indeed. It was like the tiny fish he caught, right? He wasted no time dwelling on his days under the leadership of the Deluge, his former commander. The other Worm Knights stayed well clear of him. Yeah, as he should. Gilman never did return to his homeland of the Sea Dominion, and was content to lead a monastic life on a small residence in the hills. Ah. It was just high up enough to make him keep striving to conquer his fear of heights. Other than that, an intense daily training regimen and the occasional visit from an old companion was more than enough to keep him optimistic and engaged. He knew by then that honor was not something to be won, but a contract with oneself, to be renewed each day. Oh, nice.
I want Punk Rock Dog.
Okay, you get Punk Rock Dog.
Barker Ashpaws never had much interest in returning to the Commonwealth, for he always found its bylaws to be stifling, so when the rites ended he did not care at first. He soon grew very bored. The rites have given his life a certain sense of structure he had always needed. He missed the raw anticipation of it all.
No, I can relate.
He decided to continue conducting the rites for the thrill of it. He bent some of the rules and replaced some of the object, but it was close enough.
Nice.
His packmates, the dissidents, proved more than happy to participate, and thus they ran against each other back in Yongro Valley.
See, this is like a content man.
Yeah. Gradually, other exiles familiar with the rites, as well as those who had not heard of it at all, started to take an interest. They ended giving Barker Ashpaw some healthy competition. His old feud with the rookie Greentail ceased meaning anything to him, and he forgot all about it amidst his new pursuits. Ultimately, even Barker Ashpaws, who had led such a directionless existence to that point, found something of a calling through the rites.
Cool.
Whether he took the rites less seriously than any other exiles of his time, or more, was often debated by those who watched him work.
Yeah, it's nice. I'm kinda glad he didn't go free, because
Yeah.
he would be bored to death up
Yeah,
there.
he would.
Alright, yeah, let's take his polar opposite. Just for the music.
Yeah.
All his life, the Deluge had fled from one danger, only to find himself facing another. He had escaped the war-torn waters of the Sea Dominion, he had escaped the blood border of the Commonwealth, and now he had escaped the rites. After the rites had ended, many exiles wrapped up in the ancient tests were crestfallen, as their last chance to return to their homes vanished along with the stars above. But Deluge did not mind, for this outcome meant that, at last, there was no burden of responsibility weighing down on him. Having heard that Sir Gilman also had remained behind, Deluge made a point of avoiding him at all costs. Nonetheless, they ran into each other once, riding a cold current in the Sea of Solace. The meeting was terse and cordial. Really? Deluge ended up apologizing profusely for mistreating his fellow Worm Knight, and that was the end of it. Well, okay.
Alright.
I mean, probably he was like, please don't hurt me. While most of his fellow exiles of the Pyre Hearts yet longed for the waters of the Sea Dominion, driven as ever by the impulses toward conflict, Deluge sat down. With him remained one of his companions, one Lady Seagrass, who had taken a liking to him for some reason no one can comprehend.
Yeah. Can we take a look at her?
I guess she's wearing a helmet all the time. No?
Yeah.
Ah, Lady Seagrass. Ah, she's, yeah. She's a Worm Knight duty bound to service the Deluge and the Pyre Hearts.
Alright.
Reportedly, they dispersed into the waters of the Worm Gulf, which may begin to explain the significant increase in worm population observed in the vicinity. Oh boy.
Yeah.
I mean,
Wow.
I guess he's like, you know, this. As long as he doesn't have to take responsibility for anything, he's probably good company.
Yeah.
Maybe this.
Yeah, he's not born to be a warrior.
Nah. Alright, so many Worm Knights.
Yeah.
So who do you want to do? Doing Pamitha?
Yeah, let's.
That was a callback to an earlier episode which we called Doing Pamitha.
After the rites ended, Pamela Tane parted ways with the other Nightwings, stating that she needed time alone.
But who's drinking with me?
No.
Oh, good.
She reappeared sometime after the fall of the Commonwealth, although she expressed mild surprise at the news. Yeah, right. She claimed to have no knowledge of what went on, including what role the Highwing remnants had in the events that will shape the world on the other side.
Yeah, you're totally innocent.
Yeah, absolutely. For her part, Camitha feigned little interest, making the point that they were stuck, and what happened elsewhere had little to do with them now. Someone with whom she kept in contact was a bog dweller called Big Bertrude. They would discuss all sorts of matters long into the night, and sometimes hunt together too.
I don't even want to imagine the horror of the poor critters they hunt.
Yeah. Camitha never saw her blood sister again, though did hear of her. By some accounts, Camitha played no small part in the historic last days of the Commonwealth. In turn, Camitha must have heard something of her blood sister. However, she never responded to Camitha's attempts to contact her. Camitha did not expect forgiveness for her at any point. Nonetheless, she kept trying to reach out, she said, to ruffle up her feathers just a bit.
Of course.
Having long since felt as though she had no home to call her own, Camitha continued traveling about the downside. As the temple swept across the lands, changing its features, she found in it a sublime beauty, and in the starless nights she could still see just fine. I have to take a drink.
Yeah, prepare for the many shts and
yeah. There.
There's always a plethora of weird noises we Germans have problems to make.
She said such travels tended to remind her of when she was younger and could fly unfettered.
Oh, that's it. I can't expect more. But yeah. So she's a downside explorer now. Good for her.
Yeah.
So, discount Batman, she shall not be... I like that both, like, really pissed and broody characters are, like, to the far right.
Yeah.
So let's go for... Oh, the demon guy. Once it became clear to Ignarius that the riots were drawing to a close, he knew that it was time for him and the Tempest to call it quits. But first, he and the Tempest decided to celebrate, and that they did, for many, many nights. The revelry did eventually subside, the exiles parted amicably on good terms, and went their separate ways. He roamed the downside then, searching for some meaning in his life, sometimes taking odd jobs requiring his brute strength. He never remained alone for very long and took on many lovers in his time. So how many people are down there?
A lot.
But, however, he sometimes thought about the one he called Curly Horns and what became of her. Though his glory days as the most powerful conductor of the rites had long since passed, he always enjoyed the fearsome reputation he had cultivated at that time. That's it. I kinda wanted to know, when he had his first mind-reading thing going on, he was like, "Oh my god, Moira, I'm not strong enough." And who the fuck is that? And I think we should have read his, like, roster bio thing. But
yeah, we should have done that more often. But
yeah, I wonder what became of all that.
Oh well.
Well, yeah.
Too late. I would like to do tea. Long after the riots had ended, Tay admitted that she knew well before the fact that she would not be going home again. At last, she had a very strong feeling. Yeah. She ended up not minding very much, because she had little to return to in the Commonwealth. Her sense of home had changed.
Yeah.
Yeah, we thought
I can see
as
that.
much. She took to wandering from one celestial landmark to the next, ever paying homage to the 8 scribes, whom she believed had influenced all that transpired. She was no stranger to traveling alone, but was always happy to have company. Among her friends, she always remained close with Tiso, who, more so than anyone, could always make her laugh. Though they could not see each other any longer, Tay often thought about Jodariel and spoke of her as though she were there. Tay never tried to make a decision without first consulting her idea of what Miss Jodariel might say.
It's like, from all the people mentioned here, Jodariel is like the most spiritually creeped upon.
Yeah.
Like, the demon's like, curly horns, and Tay's like, Miss Jodariel, it must be really conflicting telepathic information.
Whenever she felt genuine doubt, which was not very often, she sought out the reader of the Nightwings. If there was anyone whom she trusted as much as the scribes, it was her. Tay was always devoted to her faith, but more so to her friends. A gentle manner and unwavering conviction often help them brave life in the downside, both with courage and with grace.
No. So, did you notice that everyone talks about that reader person, but here's no reader?
Yeah.
So I guess I keep Ron for you.
Yeah,
I can see that you want to read Ron, and I get along with the ungrateful task to see what Discount Batman is up to. After the final liberation rite, Lendl refused to believe that the rites had truly ended. He would sit through the night after consecutive nights staring into the blackness of the sky, awaiting any kind of sign that he might gain another chance at freedom. No such sign ever came as fellow accusers started to express concern for him. Survival had become their top priority once liberty had slipped from their grasp. But Lendl dismissed them as weak fools. He insisted rather forcefully that any evening now, the stars would shine for him again and mark the way towards his inevitable freedom. In other words, he got fucking delusional.
Yeah.
Wow, this is sad.
Yeah, it is.
Fuck. He was, of course, mistaken. The others in his triumvirate were left with little choice but to abandon him. After that, the exile known as Lendl the Liar was never seen again. He became Lendl the Crazy.
Oh boy.
However, there have since been sightings of a bedraggled demon who wanders the downside and bears Lendl's cruel countenance, suggesting he yet lives. So normal people turn into demons, or demons turn into... Like, demons are just big people and then get horns?
I don't know. Maybe it's just a rumor and then we
Oh,
mistake
like-
him for a demon. I
Oh,
would
okay,
say.
because he's really fucking deranged and
Yeah.
stuff. Okay. Wow, this was fucking sad.
Yeah. Let's read Ron.
Yeah, that's more upbeat. Ron fucking died. Oh.
Oh boy. With the rights drawn to a close, the Slugmarken's revenues fell steeply, and Falcon Ron was forced to liquidate his assets and close up shop.
Oh.
Yet, as is sometimes the case with those of what?
Entrepreneurial.
As businessman-like leaning, this time of hardship led to an epiphany.
Oh
Or
my
at
god,
least-
what's with the fucking words?
Epiphany is a great word.
Yeah, but... Come on, this whole thing like entrepreneur, epiphany. Alright, we get it. English
Yeah.
is smart language.
Or at least a sudden change of fortune.
Is the game still there? Yeah. There's no... Do you hear any music?
No, I don't.
Oh, it sounds
Yeah,
still
but
there.
oh yeah, here's stuff. One day, Falcon Ron had a run-in with messenger imp bearing news from the other side. Ron gave to it one of his remaining trinkets which could not be sold.
Oh.
Ooh. In the following week, the messenger imp returned to him bearing a tiny sum of wealth in newly minted coinage from the Saurian Union.
So, I just... Now that we get a clear look at Ron. He has only one shoe.
Yeah.
There's a giant bone in his dad's backpack, and there is another family member in there as well. Probably.
Yeah, I always thought those were spoons, but
No,
yeah,
they're not.
eyes.
Okay.
Yeah. Falcon Ron cut a long-term deal with messenger imp then and there. Though his trades remained a grey area from a legal standpoint in the Saurian Union, the newfound fame of the downside caused Falcon Ron's goods to explode in popularity.
Nice.
He later signed an elaborate agreement with Big Bad Tools and found a distribution partner on the other side through Greentel, whose own business has expanded.
And everything falls into place.
Yeah. Especially in the Saurian Union, Falcon Ron's goods are still known for their superior quality, though he assumes no liability for any side effects.
Like for fucking cursed items.
Yeah, have some drugs.
Yeah, drugs, cursed items, and more. Alright, she who shall not be named. After the cycle of the rites had ceased, she who shall... Alright, since it's her last appearance, which would Milthe return to the Flagging Hands region, where she sealed herself within the pit of Melith. There, even her fellow exiles of the Withdrawn allegedly grew unnerved after a time and left her to her vile work. Sometime later, the pit of... Alright, I did it once. The pit of Steve erupted into flame. So intense was the conflagration that it could be seen all the way from Yomua Valley. Arson was suspected, though the cause was never verified and many bog dwellers in the region were forced to flee. A tempest blowing from the north finally quenched the flames. When at last the ashes settled and the grounds had cooled, the site of the fire was scarred beyond recognition. No trace of she who shall not be named could be found. Of her who shall not be named could be found. As for the contents of the pit of Steve, which notably included a profane object thought to be the remains of Islach, all of it was gone as well. Back in the Saren Union, she who shall not be named repeated threats of the return of Islach were thoroughly investigated, and no credence was found to any of her claims. Yeah. Alright. I thought we broke her. Like, shouldn't she get a turnabout or something? Or was it just like, alright, I must prove my god exists?
Yeah, I guess that was her plan.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
So you wanna do the good snake lady or
I would like to do
the mouthy wraith?
I would like to do Sandra.
And you shall.
After the cycle of the rites ceased turning, records of what happened to the Black Wagon of the Nightwings become inconclusive and contradictory. Some accounts suggest that the exiles of Nightwings who maintained the downside continued to make use of the Black Wagons as a place of shelter and their means of travel.
I fucking hope so.
However, there is no record of what happened to the wagon's contents, such as the Book of Rites or the Beyond the Crystal, said to be haunted by the apparition Sandra the Unseeing.
Oh, there was so much weird and creepy stuff in that wagon. I hope you will never find out.
One possibility is that when the lone minstrel took his leave, he took the Beyond the Crystal with him, for he was thus obliged. By this line of reasoning, however, the Black Wagon itself should have been taken also. Others remain skeptical that the Beyond the Crystal ever existed, or rather, that the visions that it granted were anything other than the results of an active imagination or fever dream, or moonshine.
Yeah, listen, just because there's an endless bottle of moonshine in there and like crystal drugs for days, that does not mean we fantasized all this.
The bog dwellers of the southern bogs offer still yet another explanation, for they are familiar with binding enchantments.
Is that so?
If there exists such an object in which Sisters of the Arch have been expelled for more than 800 years, then the enchantment could have expired long ago with the light of the stars.
Is that so?
Along.
The Sisters of the Ark. An ancient band of killers trained almost from birth to carry out their missions without fail. All the sisters needed was a name and a sum of 500 soul up front. That's cheap. We could have afforded that.
Yeah. Oh well. What this would have meant for Sandra and the Beyonders is difficult to say for certain, other than it may have meant that they were finally released.
Yay.
Yeah, I kind of hope so. Nevertheless, the fates of Sandra and the Beyonder Crystal remain unknown. Yet those exiles of the Nightwings who claim to have seen this apparition all spoke of her with degrees of reverence or perhaps a little fear.
Because she's a fucking ghost, yes. Yeah. So, next up, Big Bird. I'm a bit surprised that we saved Big Birdwood for almost last, but yeah. So, it's also interesting that instead of making this a rolling credit thing or even a cutscene, we are forced to read all this in the spirit of the game. Several exiles of the Nightwings cared more for the plan of Sandalwood than to return home from the downside. The crone called Big Birchwood was a prime example.
I like that the lamp is just rocking to and fro.
Yeah. She had found a suitable environment to live within the dismal region known as Flagging Hands. There she had built up a thriving place of business known to many exiles in the land. With the rites having ended, she returned to her preoccupations, working away almost as though nothing had happened. Yeah, I just took a look at the clock, and we are like, well, as you can probably see right now, over 1 hour in. We did more reading than we did actual climactic fighting.
Yeah, well.
Yeah. when one gets to be more than 400 years of age, perhaps then even monumental events such as the culmination of the riots or the collapse of the Commonwealth are seen as trifling matters. Then again, I mean, if you would just read this shit without us commenting, it would take just equally as long. I guess. Probably. Much of her effort was doubtless due to the influence of Sandalwood, someone whom she had admired now for decades. Though they were very far apart now, she sought out news as to his whereabouts and found his actions in Seren Union a rare source of inspiration. She maintained an unlikely kinship with the harp Pemether Thane, whom she had known during their time together on the Nightwings. They each had different strategies for dealing with life's day-to-day annoyances, a subject that they both found vital if not fascinating to no end. By and large, Bertrude kept focused on her work. Whether casting small enchantments or imbuing talismans, the work brought her a sense of purpose, she would say. In the Commonwealth, such services were strictly forbidden, but on the downside there was a real need for simple luxuries, which the competing slug market couldn't always provide. And thus did the big Bertrude continue to live up to her name, and the tales of her days with the Nightwings made her that much more the living legend. Right.
Alright.
Best for last. Who's it gonna be?
Yeah, Tariq.
Oh, it's Bob.
After the cycle of the rites ceased turning, the lone minstrel bade the remaining Nightwings take the Black Wagon and seek their fortunes elsewhere on the downside. Their parting was heartfelt but brief. They remained there at the summit of Mount Alodian with Celeste, where the two of them would chronicle the final outcome of the cycle. Neither Tariq nor Celeste were ever seen again.
Or were they every day because they are moon and sun or something? I don't know.
We know all this now through a song attributed to them. Some claim these songs originated in the taverns of the Seren Union and merely were imbued with weight of folklore.
Oh, you bet they are not.
However, exiles liberated from the downside corroborated each other's claims and having met this viewer that presides over the liberation rites. Another folktale suggests that these minstrels were heralds of the scribes. Having fulfilled their obligations, they departed the world we know and rejoined their patrons. One of the famous songs describes another, simpler outcome, that the two gave up their duties to the rites in favor of the lives they could share together.
That sounds nice.
Yeah, I hope so. In any case, they are likely to remain the subject of such verses and such songs, for it was they who watched over the rites and ushered in our times.
And that seems to be it.
There is one more account which warrants mention. The Nightwings conducted the rites under the guidance of the reader.
Little is known of her. However, some accounts of her begin to paint a picture.
We know she was of common birth. Always directionless and prone to misremembering at times. Yeah.
Yeah, it happens. Even without moonshine. The journey to her downside left her close to death. It was then that the Nightwings found her.
They brought her forth from the brink. She showed them the path. She pressed onward with the others.
She made a vow to help her friends be free. Thus did the cycle of the rites commence its final turns.
When the final rite arrived, the Reaper's freedom was at stake. In the end, however, she remained in exile.
By choice. From that point on, accounts of her diverge. Oh, it said that the voice which troubled her she never heard again.
Some say she sailed across the Sea of Souls, though whether that is true, only she knows.
I think it was one of the choices what we'll
Yeah.
do after that. And yeah, let's just go sailing.
Yeah,
Sounds like
let's.
fun. Someday, perhaps, that reader's own star shall emerge. Then it shall pierce the dark of night in all its brilliant glory.
Until such time and ever after, all of us give thanks.
The journey
And credits roll. So yeah, I guess if there's no after credit scene, that's basically it. I enjoyed this game very much.
Yeah, I did.
It's it's a lot of reading, obviously.
I think it's actually my favorite of the Supergiant games.
Yeah, it has more like I mean, it's probably a bit mean to say, but it has the most substance.
Yeah.
There are like definite people in there, and like a clear structure and stuff. Oh my god, this is beautiful.
Yeah. The characters were really fucking good.
Yeah.
I enjoyed Bastian and I enjoyed Transistor a lot, but this one greatly, really.
Yeah, it's with both Bastion and Transistor. It's more like what's it called? Intrinsic storytelling. Like there are no definite beats and stuff, and you know you have to fill in a lot of the gaps to make sense of the characters. Oh my god, delicious slurg. Oh, this is awesome. Go check out the song, by the way, with us talking over it. It's really good and gut-wrenching, heartwarming.
All the music is so good.
Yeah.
Go buy the acoustic version of the soundtrack because that's awesome also.
Andrew Wang. Yeah. They're really good. I mean, both versions are, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so from all three, I guess it's this one with, I think Transistor a close second. Though I like the Bastion soundtrack more. But yeah, it's like...
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, great job, Supergiant Games. You plucked our heartstrings.
Yeah. Those were some really hard decisions.
Yeah.
No?
Oh my god.
I liked with Transistor. I really liked the combat system. I don't know. It just was really satisfying to me.
Yeah, it was like I liked it more than Bastion.
Yeah.
They're two different beasts actually, but you could see they improved a lot on it. With Pyre, after playing it, I mean, there was some rides that were ridiculously easy. Like always when you faced the shit, what was David's team called?
The Pyre Hearts?
No, Pyre Hearts were the worms. Well, something with dignity. They were like really, they were pushovers, and then there were matches like the AI was so freaking fast. You couldn't even react to it. It's like you had to take the hits.
Yeah.
Just eat them, and there was basically nothing.
Lendl, he was Lendl.
Yeah.
Oh my. Nice. And Dalbert.
Yeah, well, like I think 3 or 4
And
people. And yeah, some matches were really fucking tough for no reason at all, and I'm still pissed about the Harpies cheating.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I mean, I guess it was manageable, but with, oh my god, is that young Bertrude? And
Yeah.
Afro hairdo Wolfred. This is
Yeah,
awesome. Does she smoke his pipe?
Yeah, she does. God, I want an art book of this so bad.
Yeah, this is really good. If I could straight go for an anime or stuff. Yeah, otherwise, I mean, I think for a Let's Play format, this game can drag on a bit, and because the actual sports part is really small comparatively.
Yeah, but on the other hand, it really plays to to its strengths with the characters.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that keeps you involved. This could have been a really, really bad idea if only the combat was strong, but the characters are the best part of this.
Oh, they definitely are.
So that works out beautifully.
Oh, this is awesome.
Yeah. I'd take a t-shirt of that.
I bet there is one.
They do have a really cool t-shirt which I am going to buy soon.
As soon as there's a Gilman plushie.
Yeah, no, as soon as I have money again.
Yeah.
But yeah. I am actually tempted to buy the soundtrack on vinyl.
Ooh. I don't have a player, so.
Yeah, I do, but I'm a little bit afraid of it arriving in pieces.
Yeah. Oh, what's that? Okay. Well, as... Oh, June Nightwing campaign mode unlocked. No, thank you. I guess I was bullied by the AI enough. So, yeah, as the friendly letters told us, this is the end.
Yeah, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, many thanks to all the loyal souls watching this in the past, present, and future. We'll continue with something special, and probably not quite the tone of this game. It's a game with a German title, partly, and it's about a guy from Eastern Europe and who immigrated into the USA, enacting justice on certain politically malevolently inclined individuals. I'll see you when we play Wolfenstein, the fucking Colossus or whatever. What's it? The Return of the Colossus? No.
Oh Jesus,
It's Wolfenstein 2.
Yeah.
Wow, this was anticlimactic.
Which was really fucking hard to get our hands on, let me tell you that.
Yeah, it's the real version with like gore and
With
Nazis and stuff.
Nazis.
Yeah. Alright, so,
Yeah,
thank you for
see you
joining.
then.
And see you then. Let's do it together again. 3, 2, 1. See you then.
See you then.
Almost. We'll probably edit that. Bye.